Okay, if you're thinking about moving to the Triangle, that is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, you probably realize something pretty quickly. Nobody can explain the difference between Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill without sounding like they're trying not to offend someone. It's kind of like asking someone to compare their 3 kids. And you clearly have a favorite, but your answer is they're all great. They're just different. Meanwhile, one of the kids is terrorizing the cat and picking the flowers out of the neighbor's garden, and nobody's addressing it. So I'm here to do something a little bit different. I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to break down Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill in a way that actually helps you decide where to live, without trying to make all 3 cities feel equally good, because, well, they all are great, but they're definitely not the same. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming. My name is Bill Stevenson. I'm with Spotlight Realty. That's my realty team. My team and I help people relocate to the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, every week. So this is not theory. This is what we see actual buyers choosing when they move here. First, let's talk about the simplest way to understand the Triangle. Here's an easy way to think about it. I sometimes give avatars for these, but let's give one word about each. Raleigh is polished. Durham is character and gritty. That's 2 words. Chapel Hill is curated. That's it. That's the whole video. Thank you for watching. You can leave now. Well, maybe I should go on. Maybe I should get a little bit more in depth here. Seriously, everything kind of fits into those 3 buckets. Raleigh feels like someone planned it. It's very organized, very clean, we have a system. So Raleigh is where people move when they want newer homes. You can certainly get historic older homes in Raleigh, but newer homes are sort of the vibe of the place. And you want good schools, and you want predictability, and you want a neighborhood where nothing really surprises you very much. You're not going to drive through Raleigh and go, wow, that was weird. Durham will give you that experience in about 2 minutes. So if you want weird, Raleigh's not your place. The pros of Raleigh: it is clean and safe feeling. There are tons of new construction, especially downtown, but in the suburbs as well, in the North Hills and other places. It's very easy to understand. It is surrounded by 2 beltline systems, and everything sort of revolves around downtown North Carolina State and the state capitol. And emanating from that, there are other areas, and it's kind of easy to get around and kind of easy to understand. But there are some cons. There are some downsides of Raleigh. It can feel a little corporate, if you know what I mean. It can feel like it has less personality. And it's a place where you can forget where you are in town, what neighborhood you're in, because everything kind of looks similar. It's actually a pretty hard thing to do. You know, when I'm taking clients around who look at their neighborhood in Raleigh and say, this is nice. And then the next neighborhood, this is also nice. And then the next neighborhood, wow, that's nice too. I mean, did we just circle back to that first place again? Because this kind of looks like the same house in the same place. Now, Durham is completely different, and I can't emphasize this enough. It almost couldn't be more different from Raleigh. Durham is where people move when they want personality and history, and restaurants that don't have a drive-through. I can't think of any. Like in downtown Durham, I don't think any restaurant has a drive-through. Plenty in the outskirts, but drive-throughs are apparently against code or something in downtown Durham. Durham also has neighborhoods that feel lived in. Durham has this energy where you're like, I think something interesting is happened here or about to happen here. So the pros of Durham are character, of course, an amazing food scene. I can't emphasize that enough. Arts and food and unique neighborhoods, just an abundance of that in Durham that you sometimes don't get as much of, at least not per capita, in Raleigh. Durham also offers better value for the money. There's a strong difference, a strong percentage point difference in a home that's in Raleigh. You'll pay less for it if that home is in Durham. Durham cons, so the downsides of Durham, it's not as uniform. Some areas vary a lot just from block to block. You have to know where you want to live, because Durham is not just pick anything city. Durham is a talk to someone who knows city. Talk to someone who knows this neighborhood, who knows what's going on here, knows what's going to be happening here, who knows what the plans are for this area. Because Durham is also changing a lot, especially downtown. And in fact, it has changed a lot in the time that I've been here. Downtown Durham was a word that was almost never uttered in the 1990s, at least not as a destination, certainly. Now it very, very much is. A lot of cities have gone through a renaissance like this. Durham's has been pretty darned extreme. Now downtown Durham is where everything happens. 25, 30 years ago, it was literally where nothing at all happened, except if you got a traffic ticket and you wanted to contest it, or you were called to jury duty, you had to go downtown to the courthouse. That was really the only reason ever to go to downtown Durham. Now you go to downtown Durham because you want to go see a Broadway show, you want to go to a Durham Bulls game, you want to go to a great restaurant, you want to go hear rooftop jazz or blues. So it's now it is quite the destination. Next, Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill is different, again, from Raleigh and Durham. Chapel Hill feels like someone designed a town that they wanted to take a picture of for a college brochure and then just left it that way. It's beautiful, lots and lots and lots of trees. It is walkable, like one of those typical quintessential college towns that, everything basically that you want to visit or want to go to is kind of all on one street in downtown Chapel Hill, maybe two. So I'll get Franklin Street and Rosemary Street. And the campus is gorgeous, and the campus is right there downtown. That's very, very intentional. Also, it is so nice, and you will pay for that. The big pros of Chapel Hill, top tier schools. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's by far, the reputation is by far the best schools in the area. Some say the best schools in the state of North Carolina, maybe even beyond that. And that's really one of the reasons why it's so expensive, if you ask me. That's got to be one of the explanations. It has a strong community feel. Community sometimes based around basketball or college sports in general, or college, but in any case, a strong community feel. And it looks like it's a movie set. It's a place where if you want to film something, if you want to make a movie that occurs in really any college town in America, downtown Chapel Hill is the perfect place to film that movie. So the downsides of Chapel Hill, and there really aren't that many of them. The one that is completely obvious is that it's expensive. It's the most expensive town in the Triangle, in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Apex, Cary, all that. One reason that it's expensive is that it's, like I said, the good schools, but another reason is limited inventory. It's such a small town that there's not a lot of building going on, and so there's not a lot of new development, so the inventory is fairly constrained, and the demand is very high and always growing, really. The last downside is you may feel like you're living inside of a university catalog, because Chapel Hill is like, welcome to this charming town where every home is also a big financial decision, a big financial commitment. So by the way, if you're trying to figure out which of these towns actually fits you, this is exactly what we help people do every week, every day. So if you're moving here, there's a link below and there's a QR code above where you can schedule a call directly on my calendar. I think my phone number is also on the banner here, so you can call me directly. That rings my cell phone. And we'll help you not accidentally pick the wrong city. All of these places are wonderful in one way or another, but you need to be the one that decides based on what you want out of life and how you like to live your life. So let us help you do that. Speaking of choosing one of these cities, this is how people actually do choose. Here's what actually happens. People don't typically pick a city first. They pick a feeling, and then they justify it with logic later on. There's all sorts of ways to have an intellectual alibi for living in Chapel Hill despite the fact that it's expensive, or an intellectual alibi for living in Durham despite the fact that it's gritty, or an intellectual alibi for living in Raleigh despite the fact that it's highly structured and not as gritty. But if you like structure, Raleigh is great. If you like personality, Durham is great. If you like an ideal life vibe, then Chapel Hill might be the perfect place for you, assuming you can afford it. So speaking of that, let's talk money, because this is where things, when you're trying to decide, get real very fast. Raleigh is moderate to high There's a lot of variation. I mean, it's a large, by far the largest city. So you can find moderate to even bargain prices in Raleigh, but generally speaking, you're going to be paying moderate to high prices compared to the other towns in the Triangle. Whereas Durham, and you can certainly spend millions of dollars on homes in Durham. They're all over the place, but overall, you get the best value. Now, I want to say this without being controversial. The difference in prices largely has to do, because all of these places are convenient, right? In all of these places, you can get to the center of commerce in the area, which is Research Triangle Park. And in fact, the towns are so close together. If you work in Durham, you can live in Chapel Hill or Raleigh, and work in Raleigh, you can live in Chapel Hill or Durham. So those things are not really driving the difference. What's really driving the difference in prices is quite possibly schools. So the quality of the schools seems to have a one-to-one correlation. The perceived quality of the schools, has pretty much a one-to-one correlation with the difference in prices between Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham. Now, with regard to schools, Durham has a more mixed reputation for schools, but it also has possibly the best private school. And Durham School of the Arts, which is a 6th grade through 12th grade, was recently named by U.S. News and World Report as actually the best public high school in the state of North Carolina. So that's what I mean when I say Durham is mixed, but you have lots and lots and lots of options. As I've said before in these videos, I raised 3 children to successful adulthood in Durham, and we navigated the schools really easily by doing a lot of different things, though. So you won't have to do those things if you live in Chapel Hill. You'll get a quality education in Durham, but you'll get a quality education at Chapel Hill without even thinking about it. You just go to the school that you're assigned to. And the same is largely true of Raleigh and Cary as well. So this is the moment where buyers usually go, oh, okay, so we're not moving to Chapel Hill. It's too expensive. I do want to say a word about that there are parts of Chapel Hill that are less expensive than others. If you're not in the middle of town, there are some outskirts that are still in Chapel Hill schools in which you can buy a reasonably priced home, certainly not a cheap home, and still take advantage of the great Chapel Hill public schools. So overall, here's my honest take. If I had to simplify it, Raleigh, for most people moving here, will probably provide, especially if you're accustomed to large-ish or larger cities, Raleigh provides the easiest transition for most of those people. Durham, I'm being very simplistic here, Durham is, in my view, the most interesting of these 3 towns. It has really a lot going for it, both economically and arts and food and diversity and schools and all that. It's a very, very interesting place to live. Has been a very interesting place for me and my family to live for all these years. So Chapel Hill is sort of the ideal place in some ways. Sure, it's a small town, but it is proximity to Durham and Raleigh makes that almost not a downside. But it's an ideal place, highly academic, very easy to get to know people, very easy to get to be known by people because it's such a small town compared to the others. But in the end, it's sort of an idyllic place, and a lot of people who can afford it wind up living there for all of those reasons. A lot of relocation buyers, however, wind up choosing Durham because it hits that middle ground of value, lifestyle, and location. All 3 are very good with location, but Durham is really the one that hits pretty close to home or pretty hard when a lot of people are searching because of the 3 things I mentioned: value, lifestyle, location, a little bit of grit, character, all that. So if you're trying to decide between Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, or Cary, or Apex, Morrisville, Hillsborough, Wake Forest, whatever, don't guess, because where you live here really matters a lot more than people expect. My team and I help people relocate here every week, every day, really. So if you want help narrowing it down, just reach out to us. Links are below, phone number's in the banner, QR code is in the banner where you can just get right onto my calendar. We can have a Zoom call and talk about what you're trying to accomplish and how we can help. And if you move here and still can't decide, don't worry. You just end up arguing about it like everybody else who already lives here. Everybody who thinks that the town that they chose, the town that they're enjoying, the town that they love is the best one in the Triangle. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to working with you, talking with you, helping you decide where in the Triangle you're going to live. I'm Bill Stevenson from Spotlight Realty. Take care.